Ibon.
Ma-audition, anay daw siya, ma'am.
Oh my God, Rian, what's wrong with you?
Wala ko oxygen. Basinita sa Sibol, a mangrove planting initiative. Good morning, everyone. I am Rian Gabriel B. Fuentes, together with...
I am Dantea Sulay A. Lorente.
presenting our initiative. Next slide, please. It's your mic now. So these are, let's go back. Okay, next slide. Okay, so we're gonna start with the project title. And what we really want to highlight is, of course, next slide please, is the target beneficiaries, the material and resources needed, the next slide, and the assistance from our microbia officers.
So, CBOL will be spearheaded by Mr. Rian Gabriel Fuentes along with Ms. Kate Dominique Manaay and their assistant head, Angie Nicolasara. And along with that, their respective committees that were formed for this initiative.
So the proposed date and time would be around December 8 to 14 with the 3-hour gap, which is from the 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. It's in the Laganes Integrated Katungan Eco Park in Guaan, Laganes, Iloilo, which we will partner with Microbia.
Mangroves are not just trees. They're powerful nature protectors. They shield us against erosion and they serve as homes to many species. So our mangrove tree planting initiative is going to be our micro movement that will make way for our macro realities. We want Katungan Eco Park to stand as an example that conservation and community development can go hand in hand. By highlighting its value, we hope to inspire others to do the same. So one of our goals for this is sort of a domino effect. We model and then others will follow until we achieve that macro reality that we aim for.
So these are the objectives. It's to conserve our mangrove eco-park systems here in the Philippines. Engagement and collaboration are interconnected with each other, wherein we will engage with local communities to help them in planting mangroves. For us, Microbia and BS Biology 1B to collaborate and for this to apply. After this event, we do not just aim to just plant mangroves. We want to learn and to apply how to plant mangroves, how to plant trees, so that we can do this in our own backyards.
So this is a half-day event. We will start off first with a sort of orientation to care for the seedlings and to orient on how to properly plant. And then the event proper will follow with the section. So our target beneficiaries, of course, like I said, we are aiming for a domino effect. So we wish to model and foster collaboration in planting, and then our target beneficiaries will be the communities, specifically in Leganes, and of course our section as well as the whole of Microbia.
So these are the activity flows with 4 designated blocks. I would just like to highlight that Mendro Leganes will provide an orientation on mangrove conservation and planting techniques. So we will not go there with chickens cut off our heads. They will teach us how to plant mangrove first. Next, please. These are the material and resources needed. Again, Menro Leganes will provide the quantity of mangrove seedlings. To further lessen the budget, foods will be personal and the lunch will also be personal for the participants. Next, please. So this is the estimated budget, less than 6,000 pesos. We can do and plant mangroves already. So transportation is only 4,000 back and forth from Wibsu to Leganes. And miscellaneous for any unforeseen expenses or any unforeseen events that might occur there. Please.
So the roles, as I mentioned, this will be spearheaded by our heads and their respective committees who will ensure that the event flows smoothly and that we will get to our goal in the end.
Next, please. So these are the safety and risk management to provide a more safe innovation and initiative for us. We have provided that the weather should be safe for us, so any rains or any typhoons that might be coming, automatic postponed activity around that second week of December. We must also learn the proper tool handling as once again taught by the Menro Leganes. Hydration is important. That's why we must remind each other to keep hydrated while planting those mangroves. First aid preparedness, we have already an RCY member, the Red Cross Youth member, Cherish Neisha Pama, who will help us in case of emergencies, and environmental awareness, in which we should be aware of our environment. What place will we go to? It's quite muddy, so maybe we'll bring boots and any protective gear.
How will Microbia support 1B in our initiative? So we respectfully ask for their assistance in coordination with the Katungan, of course, for provision of technical guidance, resource support, documentation and facilitation, as well as post-activity evaluation.
Thank you everyone for listening. I hope that we can turn micro dreams into
Macro realities.
thank you.
We are now open for questions.
May I ask what species of mangroves are you planting?
We're not yet specifying the type of mangrove seedlings as the Menro Leganes will be provided by us. So I guess we'll just accept what's given to us by Menro Leganes because it's also part of their program to help Leganes Integrated Eco Park, Katungan Eco Park.
Why did you choose Katungan Eco Park?
We chose Katungan Eco Park po specifically because they've been offering this kind of initiative for a while, and we, of course, the location-wise, it's quite close to us, so it's not going to be that much of an inconvenience when it comes to transportation, as well as we wish to involve the community in this initiative.
I would like to also add that I have experience planting mangroves in the Leganes Integrated Katungan Eco Park. I have been the photojournalist for the planting at my old school, Ateneo. So it's quite feasible for us because there's already an experience from the head planting there.
Pero I mean, it's already an eco park, so meaning dapat naging mangrove. Are there any parang news na daw nagkamatay na ang mga mangrove, that's why kailangan ulit mag-replanting? What about, do you plan like, kasi eco park meaning ina-monitor din man nila. Do you plan to plant like mangroves in the coastal areas para ma-prevent ba during, di ba? Mangroves are very essential, especially important sila during the rainy season in the coastal areas. Tapos, if that is so, how are you going to like monitor the growth of mangroves?
So since this is our first initiative as a class, we wish to conduct in a more controlled environment as to ensure that we make no mistakes, of course, in handling the seedlings as well as monitoring growth. And since we are going to be at an eco park, it will be easier for us to monitor the growth.
I would like to also add that the Eco Park has an assigned engineer that provides or that that studies the mansion place. So it's their role to control and for us to ask the Menro, where do we plant? What area is needed? Because the Eco Park isn't just like this library, it's quite small. Eco Park is very big. There's still mangroves that are needed to be planted in some areas. However, they just lack the manpower to do it. And by so, we are willing to help them plant the mangroves.
If they suggest that you plant the mangroves in the Sunset Boulevard, are you willing to change the location?
We will be willing to change the location as per the advice of the experts, of course.
What about the monitoring? I have a professor who have mentioned na dapat gitman may tree planting, mangrove planting. However, there is no monitoring na nakatabo. So, in a way, wala man gawa may nakupit nga mangrove because in that way is dikit-dikit ba? Because mangrove usually need specific may mga spatial requirements man and other conditions for them to grow. Tapos may area nga ng mga mangrove seeds na parang they outcompete the growth of the other mangroves. So how are you going to monitor the growth of your mangrove?
That's why, ma'am, we urge you to join with us in planting at Leganes Integrated Katungan Eco Park because, as I said earlier, they have equipped engineers, they have people working there, and the government is priding itself in having Eco Park. They have a budget for that. They have people to monitor the growth of the mangroves. Also, for us, for the results, we may collaborate or we may ask them for any results of our growth by going to that place after, let's say, a month, or just messenger, taking a picture of the results we have been planted.
I guess it would be better if tawagin mo sa mga hindi lang mag-report sa ila regarding the progress.
Sure, ma'am. We will take note of that. Abby, our secretary, please take note. Thank you. So there will be 40 participants. So 33 from DBS Bio 1B and 7 from Microbia. Another one would be probably added from an advisor, from our advisor, and that this is because, ma'am, the transportation fee to Leganes is quite costly, seeing that it is from urban to rural. So we have computed, our business managers have computed that a jeep would cost 2,000 pesos going back and forth for 5 hours or 4 hours of their respective time. So 4,000 divided by 2, that would be 2,000 each, and then in one jeep, the max capacity following the LFTRB guidelines would be 21 or 20, I guess.
But since you're going to global Leganes, so how so you need to process permits, I think from CHED.
Yes.
CHED, so now is very strict in terms of
Actually, this initiative was supposed to be a project for a class, and so we have already started processing the papers. However, you said that it took a lengthy amount of time, and so we decided to opt to introduce it to a bigger audience, and we did a different activity na lang po for that subject.
And the different activity was actually cleaning the Rizal Hall laboratories last week. So if anyone heard of us vacuuming sounds, that was us. However, for that question, ma'am, we have to admit, we tried our best in actually implementing this study and doing it. However, the CHED memorandum was just too much for us. It's not feasible for us to do it as a class. That is why we plead for Microbia to help us because we believe that the OSA and other offices will much more work with us if they know it's from an organization or a collaboration through an organization.
So you have already planned it beforehand. So you think whether or not your proposal has been accepted here, will you continue? Because you already started processing the papers, right? If I have heard it correctly.
You're partially correct that that we are starting to process our papers. However, in processing the papers, deadlines have not been met. And actually, Kate, Dominic, Manaay, and I were disheartened that we have failed to comply with the requirements. I think it's 23 requirements. It's too much. That is why we have actually knowledge from the CHED memo, and for that reason we have such as putting Cherish Nisha Pama as first aid kit because that's already required by the CHED memo. And that's it, ma'am. For the question that will we still continue to do it? Well, it depends if Microbia is willing to help because our heart for the community is there, but our wallet is not there as well. Thank you.
So if ever you push through this project, so can you conduct other activities, like for example, postal group after, para isahan na lang. Like from mag-planting plus swimming na lang.
We are willing to accept that po, ma'am, as if Microbia accepts our invitation because we again lack a lot of manpower to conduct such a large-scale operation because there's only 33 of us in class po.
It's also sad that we're still freshmen and we're still new to the state university systems. So it's actually quite work heavy here processing, unlike in our high schools where we just get an approval from our principal. Now we have to go to OSA, we have to go to clinic, we have to get an approval from the president. It's much work from us, and I believe that Microbia will help us in guiding this future so that once we will reach enough experience in conducting and processing permits, we can be independent in achieving WIBSU's sustainable goals.
Take note na. Ma'am Karen, ma'am, siya na po. Apology, siya na. Police ang Lauren.
Does the panel or Microbia or the other participants have any other follow-up questions for us? We're very willing to answer them. Perhaps if other classes wish to collaborate with us on this initiative, we are also open to that. Baka naman.
Just contact Kate, not me.
So we will send our schedule as a class so you know where to reach us, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Wow, suddenly may mga flashbacks sa pag-ecology. You are one step